Hey, I'm TheLoopyAlchemist, and welcome back to Let's Play Skyrim. Alright, well, today we are going to run over to whatever godforsaken location the Imperial Legion is sending us, so we can fight some Stormcloaks and get a crown and gain a major political coup in the process. Which is a fancy way of saying, get more popular. Alright, well, that is not too far, but still quite the walk, especially when I'm wearing heavy armor. And because I care about optics so much, I am going to keep this armor on all the way there. Which in real life would make, I don't know, would make sense in the fact that would probably be getting stronger by wearing it, but I would also be flat out exhausted by the time I actually have to fight. Interesting fun fact, the real Roman legions actually did this, like forced recruits to walk around with 100-pound packs, so all the armor actually seems lighter when you're wearing it in real life. Of course, this is like a very specific era of Roman history I'm talking about. Marius's mules and the Marian reforms of the very late Republic is what I'm specifically referring to, so if you want more info, be my guest to look that up. If you want really good details, I'd recommend the podcast, The History of Rome by Mike Duncan, just absolutely excellent work. Also, speaking of podcasts, if you'd like an Elder Scrolls lore podcast, literally search up Elder Lore. If you like the obscure stuff, it will be right up your alley. It covers like my level of obscure things, like it even has one on shadow magic, so you know it's pretty good. And is this an actual location or just a random dragon burial mound I just walked over? Oh well, I think I've got a couple days to go before that blows up in my face. And, oh look, I'm already kind of halfway there. Honestly, this is just like a beautiful place to just go out walking. It's too bad we've got wolves here and everything, but yeah. Now, one thing I've actually been debating is remaking the... Also, sorry if the volume just got a bit different, I just readjusted my mic. Hopefully we won't get any static from that. I've been thinking of remaking the video... Well, not so much remaking, but making a specific video, Why Did the Dwemer Disappear? Now, if you'll remember way back when I did a lore episode on them, which, you know what, overall, it's an early episode, so of course the video quality isn't as good as I just now expect my videos to be. Overall, the information on it, it's okay, but the one thing I'm really not satisfied about is my explanations of why the Dwemer disappeared. So if you don't remember, I narrowed it down into something like 3 categories. One, using the tools of Kagrenak on the Heart of Lorkhan, just destroy their entire race. 2, either they actually did become gods, or it made Azura super duper pissed off and she just wiped them out of existence or imprisoned them in oblivion. And oh, here are my guys. But I'm really not satisfied with any of these because, well, first off, Azura just going nuts on them is kind of ridiculous because Daedra get pissed off all the time, and none of them, even Jiggalig, the Daedric Prince of Order probably, wouldn't be able to just suddenly destroy an entire race. Actually, never mind, in Jiggalig's case, he might have been able to. Speaking of which, what happened to him? Like, since the Shivering Isles thing, I've seen a couple threads on it. The best speculation I've seen is, he's biding his time and recollecting his power. And honestly, that would be a pretty sweet setup for a future Elder Scrolls game, actually. But anyways, back on topic. And yeah, the other two, them becoming gods and accidentally destroying themselves, I just don't buy it either. The theory I buy the most is that a dragon break actually sent them forward in time. And I actually heard about this from that Elder Lore podcast, so again, by all means, check it out. And we are about to attack them, but I am going to keep talking through it anyways. Oh, she hasn't given the order yet? Okay, sorry Rika. I'll follow you. Yeah, so a dragon break, for those of you who don't know, it's basically when time does some funny stuff. Like, for example, the 3 legendary heroes of Sovngarde that you fight Elduin with at the end of the game. That was a Dragon Break that sent Elduin forward in time. The same thing, the same cop-out, I mean canon explanation of the Warp of the West, how it can have all those different endings and all of them actually happened, exact same deal. And yeah, I think the Dwemer are probably going to show up again somehow that way, which, again, would make a pretty sweet quest, if not main quest for an entire game. Now, of course, there are quite a few mysteries still. I mean, if you've played Morrowind, it's pretty detailed on stuff. Like, just detailed enough to give you bare basics of what happened. But overall, I'd say I think they're probably going to come back again someday. But anyways, yeah, we just ambushed the outside of this fortress, so I better kind of keep my mind on this. Now, I'm almost wondering, like, tactics right here, I think, overall, they're pretty sound. The one thing I might do differently is have, like, a reserve of Legionnaires that hang back and maybe surround this area, just to make sure no Stormcloaks get out. Well, this makes sense for 2 reasons. One, we don't want them to get away with the Jagged Crown, and 2, we just want to flat out annihilate all the soldiers in here because, let's face it, this is war and we have to do those things. Of course, that begs the question, why don't we just hang back completely and ambush them when they're on their way out with the crown? But one of them could slip out. They obviously don't have the crown yet, and also, who knows, there could be an underground passage leading out of here. Of course there isn't, but that is a risk I do not want to take because, let's face it, these dungeon things have those. And screw tactics, we are just going to go Scarface on them. Wait, is that the right movie I'm thinking of? Maybe. And oh god, my health is low. Okay, note to self, make sure I'm actually at a high level before I just recklessly charge out at people. But I've got potions, so who cares. Also, I think my fellow Legionnaires will have a bad habit of dying on me unless I take some initiative and absorb the bulk of the blows. And is that more Legionnaires or Stormcloaks down there? It's so dark, I need to get that one candlelight spell. Alright, let's charge in. But, no, restoration. There we go. Alright. I'm pretty OCD with having full health in almost any game, same with saving, in case you haven't noticed that by now. And, yeah, shield, there we go. I really want to get an Imperial Sword, because then I'll have kind of like the full thing. And an Imperial Sword, it's basically just a reskinned, Steel Sword. I think they have, like, literally the exact same stats. The only thing is I need to be either able to smith one. You can find one just laying on a table in Skyhaven Temple, but I'd like to get one before I get that far in the main quest, which, I don't know, I always like starting out with the Civil War quest line because it's basically just a ton of battles, a ton of loot off of bodies, and with all the fighting you need to do, I find it raises your level organically really well. And why are these guys so slow? Oh well. Yeah. So we'll be doing quite a bit of this, but also kind of hop between the Civil War quest line and the main quest line, and a couple other ones if I find them interesting. Also, my Elgato came in, haven't tested it out yet, but really excited. But as I've mentioned previously, I've got like up till part 34 of this recorded already, so it's going to be a while, but it's going to be well worth it when I finally do. Again, graphics isn't everything, but I like to make sure you guys get the best quality. Well, now that I'm actually putting effort into this, and flat out now that I'm just better at making videos, like, honestly, I find YouTube, like basically anything, it's kind of a learn with experience type thing. And ugh. Wow, those guys can do kill animations too type things. I'm impressed. I wonder how much longer the Skyrim modding community is going to stay this strong. Like, you see, like, even Morrowind is still getting mods for it. So, there's definitely going to be, like, what I mean is more, like, how is it going to have, like, a massive community? I'd say probably well until the release of The Elder Scrolls 6. And with Bethesda most likely working on Fallout 4 at the moment, that might be a while, because we're probably, if I had to guess, not going to hear any real news of Fallout 4 until 2015, and then probably released around 2016, maybe? Um, who knows, we could hear about it this year, but with all the hoaxes, like first that one website, then apparently this email that's going around now, wonder if anyone will even believe it once finally announced. Alright, well, we are just going to kill you, and gonna put some restoration on, and now we are just going to kill you. And wow, that sounds really morbid, but oh, that looks awesome. Yeah. Alright, well, we are... What's this? I'm actually using the, like, D-pad quick select thing? I didn't think I would, but honestly, I think I'm starting to get the hang of it. When I first played Skyrim, those things screwed me up so much because I didn't even bother waiting. I just charged through and hoped for the best. Ugh. Okay, now... I wonder why everyone just holstered their swords right there. I mean, everyone's dead, but I would always want to have mine right at the ready. Okay, well, now there's just the small matter of getting this door open, and with that I think we've actually wiped out all of the Stormcloak soldiers that were sitting around here. You know, maybe some of them should hang back. Actually, never mind, there are two guys sitting out by the entrance guarding it, but you'd think we'd want to have a couple more sentries than that. And by the way, I'm probably going to keep making these minor critiques of real tactics throughout most of this quest line. Anyhow, question of the day: will you ever live in one of these underground crypt things like this? Now, of course, like, I don't mean, like, just live in this place as it is, but, like, renovate it, make it really nice with, like, carpets, TV, clean out all the dead bodies, especially the ones that come back to life and try to kill you with axes, and all the ghosts and creepy vines growing around. Probably get rid of some of that moss, too. Maybe redo the stairs so they look less rotted and everything. And put in, like, electric lights, Wi-Fi. Yeah, would you guys want to live in one of these places? I mean, honestly, I don't know. Like, it'd be a tad weird, but then again, like, I don't know. I guess it would have to depend what the resale value was, how much you paid for it. And of course, I don't know, you might be able to just move in. Like, I don't know, I still wouldn't exactly feel comfortable because there's this, like, one quest in... It's this, like, small mining town, the Rift, where they're mining and they accidentally hit this one crypt and a bunch of drugger come out and kill them. So I think I'd be worried about that for most of the time, but I don't know, it'd probably be nice and warm in here if you got, like, an electric heater and maybe a fireplace. But if you got a fireplace, then you'd have to actually, like, create a, like, chimney venting system and everything. Oh yeah, speaking of that, venting in general, I mean... yeah. Alright, well, that is enough about me talking about home improvement. Wake up! Alright. Yeah, so now that we've got this guy up, we are going to murder him so we can take his crown. Of course, he is already dead, and no one should mind that. And, oh, darn it, that I don't know if you saw that back there, but the frostbite poison I took such effort in equipping didn't actually affect him, but no matter, there's like 4 of us. And I think we can do fine. Generally, I just like to flank around these guys. And oh no, they got one of our guys. Alright, well, we are going to make them pay for that with their filthy undead blood. And wow, that guy can use shouts too. Am I supposed to be impressed? And that was kind of supposed to sound badass, but no, it didn't. It's late, and I don't want to wake everyone up by yelling melodramatic lines. Alright, well, it's kind of really inappropriate to be looting this guy's body, but I really want one of those Imperial swords, and it's not like he's going to be using it. So I think we can just give ourselves a pass on that one. Alright, to victory! Yeah, I love how I can just... Well, who shot an arrow in him? Why are you using a bow at this close of a range? And I should probably grab the Jagged crown. Teabag, teabag. Alright. Well, overall, I would call that a pretty successful mission. Yeah. Well, I'm the Loopy Alchemist. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.